I see today's case is the passing game versus Jim Harbaugh.
Mm-hmm.
Is the prosecution ready?
I am.
All right. Is the defense ready?
Sure.
All right. Let's begin.
All right. I want to take you back to 2020, a magical time. Justin Herbert's rookie year. I mean, there were some issues with 2020. Let's be honest.
Not a magical year, Mr. Rosenthal.
I want to point out, in that 2020 season, Justin Herbert had the most yards passing per game, per start, in NFL history. I want to point out that he had the most passing touchdowns for a rookie in NFL history. More than Andrew Luck, more than Russell Wilson, more than Peyton Manning. There was a guy back then that I enjoyed watching, that I think all of America enjoyed watching, that threw the ball with a little daring do. There was that 65-yard pass from the Bucs against the Bucs while he's getting absolutely crushed in air to Jalen Guyton down for a touchdown. There were all these bombs to Mike Williams. He was the man. Now I want to take you to today. The Chargers have attempted 46 forward passes in the season. They have run the ball 71 times. Jim Harbaugh came in talking about balance. Where is the balance? It's all running. And then I can almost hear the defense talking now. Yes, but they're efficient. And, Harbaugh loves to slap his shoulder pads. No, they're not efficient. He's throwing the ball worse than he's ever thrown the ball. 6 yards per attempt. 20th in the NFL in EPA. 20th in success rate. There isn't a stat you can find of Justin Herbert throwing the ball that is positive. They have turned him into Justin Fields throwing the ball, but without all the rushing fun. Let's go back to 2020, because we're here in the Chris Wesseling podcast courtroom. That season, I had the fortune of driving our friend Chris back from chemo to his house every week. Chris was still writing QB Index at the time. A lot of those conversations were about football. And Justin Herbert was a man, as a rookie, that was making us feel something. We would talk about Justin Herbert saying, this is the quarterback, since we've been doing this job, that moved us the most. So you can talk about your wins and your losses, but he connected with us on a spiritual, football, entertainment level. And this is an entertainment product. Now they've made him boring. I want that old Justin back. And Jim Harbaugh's not giving it to him.
Okay. Are there any would the defense like to speak now?
Yeah. Aside from the clear emotional manipulation of the previous argument, because Soup can picture it, right? Incredibly moved by that. It's being weaponized in this case against this argument. 2020, I recall also the time that the Chargers went 7-9. This arguer, lawyer, I don't know the right word, but this person arguing things right now absolutely loves watching Justin Herbert throw the football. But it sounds like the argument on the other side is being made despite the disguise of true feelings and empathy, in actuality, for the sake of his perhaps fantasy football team or one of his few
didn't draft him.
fantasy football
Objection,
team.
sir.
Wow.
Because he doesn't
I drafted Kyler Murray and I'm living right.
Overruled?
Interrupting.
Yeah, come on.
Some sort of penalty on that,
Order.
Because regardless, he's thinking about it from that perspective, less so a game strategy perspective. You want balance? Let's talk about pin and pull and counter and duo and the gorgeous aerial footage of these tight ends who can block so effectively. They are restoring balance to this offensive line that will need to protect Justin Herbert should they actually play like a real football team and need to come out of a deficit and throw the football. This offensive line, these blockers, this run game will protect the Justin Herbert who recently was missing practice due to plantar fasciitis. Daniel Popper of The Athletic said he told reporters that he would be managing this all season. So I ask you this, why don't you want to protect Justin Herbert?
I do.
Instead of thinking about the flash of the ball sailing through the air. Look at the aerial shots of this run game. Look at the beauty of old school
Jim
football.
Harbaugh sold this whole idea
Look
on
at they're
building
2-0.
a great offensive line.
I rest my argument. He's already closed my argument.
I've reached a decision. All right. The court does not need to hear anything further on this after not a lot of deliberating at all. I think here that the passing game versus Jim Harbaugh is not guilty, unfortunately, of making Justin Herbert boring because they are a 2-0 team and they are fun to watch. And just because Justin Herbert isn't exciting, Jim Harbaugh comes in, he's exciting. He fills that gap for me. So look,
run game.
Objection. There is no way Your Honor has watched these
I'm so sorry. Are you
games
questioning
and
the
found
court?
them exciting.
I find you in contempt of the court.
They make me feel alive.
The 30th in pass block win rate. Jim Harbaugh was selling this whole idea that the offensive line is going to be
fixed. Do you think
and
perhaps
I'm a little
that
surprised.
number is skewed a little bit because of the low sample size? Or are we going to really go down this?
Maybe 31st in run block win rate. I'm just saying, like, has their offensive line even played that well? I just want to see an effect. Like, give me at least an effective Herbert. He hasn't even been
130 passing yards. That was the second lowest in any game ever that Herbert has played. It's a different Justin Herbert. It's a different year, and there's been a league-wide shift in going towards the running game. So it's not just the Chargers that are doing this.
And you're going to have to throw the ball at some point for them to be the team that they want to be. But yeah, you mentioned 274 yards combined passing. He averaged more than that per game in his rookie year.
I'm just saying, I just remember a couple years ago when people were like frothing at the mouth to get Joe Lombardi and Kellen Moore up out of there. And like this is a different kind of football. Beauty looks different.
That's fair.
Everybody. We are all in football, God's creatures, and all of our run schemes and passing schemes are beautiful.
Flowers don't compete with each other.
I just need more. Shane Steichen was his offensive coordinator back then. Anthony Lynn, his coach. And yeah, I was really thinking about those rides with Wes as I'm watching this Panthers-Chargers game on condensed, mostly
that is really nice, by the way.
And the coaches stuff. And because I was watching it because of Bryce Young, and then I'm watching, and I'm just like, what happened to that guy? You know? Because we all thought, we meaning me and Wes, that like this is gonna be the next great quarterback. And he's been very good. He's been unquestionably a top 10 quarterback, maybe top 7 or 8. And we've blamed a lot of what's going on around him. And I think he's going to get there with Jim Harbaugh at some point.
They're going to have to throw the ball, and he will.
I know.
And his offense is built to have his back when he does have to start throwing the ball. That's the foundation they're laying right now. It's not that they're never going to run the ball until
I'm just disappointed. Can I be disappointed?
You can be disappointed
as a fan,
but
as an
change is
entertainer.
inevitable.
But legally.
If I was telling Wes this is how the next 5 years of Herbert's going to go, I think he'd be like, oh, that was a letdown. I guess we were off.
I think we all are like, man, just throw the ball 100 times a game if you're Justin Herbert. But at the same time, that's not what's happening here.
It's working the way that they're doing it right now.
For now. And now they play the Steelers this week, which, final score prediction 9-7.
Oh,
love it.
I don't know who wins.
That's beautiful in its own way.
Right. Not Greg. He doesn't win.